it's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living, you know what, at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did, it would have never gotten to this point. But
Stephen A. Smith just strongly criticized Angel Reese after the drama involving Caitlin Clark and a possible racial comment. Things got intense. ESPN might need help cleaning up the mess. So, what did Angel say? Why is Stephen A. so angry? How did a basketball issue turn into a big cultural moment? If you thought things were tense on the court, wait until you hear what Stephen A. said. This isn't just a response, it's a powerful statement. Let's break it down.
Unfortunately, it comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. Nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents.
Stephen A. Smith didn't just criticize Angel Reese, he went all out. It was like he dragged her through airport security with a barking dog behind them. He had facts, backup facts, and basically gave a full speech on live TV. You'd think Angel committed a serious crime, not just made a mistake in a controversy over a possible slur. But Stephen A. came in blazing, hotter than a microwaved Popeye's biscuit, and he looked so intense, even his eyebrows seemed angry.
This was a basketball play. You understand? It was the heat of the moment. I got it. The fact that the sky was getting romped by 35 certainly didn't help matters. I get all of that too, okay? But the reality of the situation is clear. I think it was a basketball play. I don't think it's much ado about anything. I think both of you are 100% correct in terms of not only attributing it to competition, but loving the fact that they're being allowed to compete. We should not judge.
Stephen A. started with his classic line, "Let me say this," which basically means, get ready, it's about to get serious. And it really did. He called out the double standards so loudly, it felt like he was speaking from a church confessional. Angel Reese tried to speak out like she was stepping into a civil rights role, but she forgot one key thing: if you're going to stir things up, you better make it worth it. Instead, she made bold claims like she was trying to go viral, and she did, just not in the way she wanted.
Clark to one of the footages they show was Angel Reese getting up and clapping and stuff like that. They keep their eyes on stuff like this. Here's where I'm going where the rivalry kicks in. Angel Reese, the reason why obviously the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing happened was because when they met in the NCAA tournament in 2023, when Angel Reese was doing all of this, because Caitlin Clark had been doing that to her opponents when she got the best of them. So Angel Reese and LSU got the best of her, and that's what she did unapologetically, okay?
Stephen A. questioned everything: the timing, the way Angel Reese said it, and even whether she'd been watching reality TV instead of working on her game. He broke down the situation like a surgeon, sharp and precise, but it still felt like a roast. If you've got a problem with Caitlin Clark, he said, show it on the court, not on a podcast like you're trying out for Love and Basketball too. The drama continues. And when he mentioned Twitter, he made it sound like it was a full-blown crime scene.
She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being fourth in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard. When it was really all said and done, we know what she brings to the table.
And you know Stephen A., he didn't just go after Angel Reese. Once he senses any kind of hypocrisy, he locks in like a bloodhound on a mission. He went after the whole culture of fake outrage, like it was his personal responsibility to call it out. Suddenly, it wasn't just about one player, it was about a whole generation of athletes, fans, commentators, and online warriors who care more about going viral than understanding the actual game.
Jackie Robinson of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark. If she stays healthy, there's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years, and you watch, I know her, she's our meet, but you look at some of these names, you see some of these people on how they do.
Stephen A. tore through the mess of double standards with sharp precision, calling out the selective empathy crowd like they handed him a list of their own contradictions. While Angel Reese took most of the heat, Stephen A. widened his focus to call out a whole culture, one where identity politics often hides poor sportsmanship, missed shots, and attention-seeking disguised as analysis. And let's be real, somewhere in a dim studio, Skip Bayless was probably taking jealous notes, thinking, now that's how you deliver a message. Stephen A. became the loud voice of basketball truth, cutting through all the noise with the force of a moral thunderclap. What made it powerful wasn't just the anger, it was the way he broke it all down. He wasn't just mad, he was disappointed. And if you know Stephen A., that kind of disappointment is just one step below a full-on exorcism. One moment he sounded like a disappointed uncle, the next like a fierce lawyer giving a final courtroom speech. He didn't just speak the truth, he shouted it, like it was being auctioned off to the highest bidder.
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
But she's better at everything. And she did a triple-double. She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
She's just better.
By the time Stephen A. was done, he'd held up a mirror to the entire sports world, fans, media, players, no one was safe. He didn't just drop the mic, he launched it into space and dared anyone to pick it up without shaking. This wasn't just basketball commentary anymore, it was a full-blown takedown of hypocrisy, fueled by caffeine and a loaded vocabulary. You could almost picture the ESPN crew panicking, hovering over the delay button like it was a nuclear launch key, but it was too late. Stephen A. had spoken. And beneath all the yelling and drama was something uncomfortable. He was right. Angel Reese tried to clap back on social media, but by then it was over. Stephen A.'s rant had become TikTok fuel, memes, reaction videos, even fake images of him dunking on her from space. In less than 24 hours, Reese went from Bayou Barbie to a cautionary tale about cancel culture and public.
You just call a spade a spade. Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Mm-hmm. Caitlin didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all of us, that other people are surprised by this. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to tell you. And once again, for so long, as a player, I would almost joke. I'd be like, I would have loved to have shut up and dribble.
And the wildest part? Stephen A. didn't even yell the whole time. That's how you know it was serious. When he gets quiet, it's like the eye of a hurricane, calm, focused, and about to leave behind emotional wreckage. One moment he's unpacking deep cultural issues, the next he's comparing Caitlin Clark's jump shot to Beyoncé at Coachella, and somehow, it works. But just when you thought Stephen A.'s flamethrower speech was the grand finale, here comes the real twist: Caitlin Clark isn't even in the drama. She's just out there dribbling a basketball, minding her business, and still living rent-free in half the WNBA's heads. No security deposit, no utility bill, just a front-row view of their insecurities. It's like she didn't just show up to play ball, she showed up and accidentally triggered every fragile ego within a 20-foot radius. She's averaging 20-plus points, bringing in thousands of new fans, and generating headlines the league has been craving for years. And yet, some WNBA vets haven't exactly been rolling out the red carpet. Instead of, "Welcome, young queen," it's more like, "Who does she think she is?" It's giving Mean Girls, Locker Room Edition, and Caitlyn's the new transfer student everyone suddenly resents because the coach loves her hustle, and she doesn't need a ring light to shine.
Angel Reese is obviously and clearly taking too much heat because I believe a lot of people are using this situation as a cover for their innate vitriol and maybe their innate kind of racism or racial tension or racial misunderstanding. And now that they have been given a reason, at least the reason that they're going to try to take, which is Angel Reese reacting to Caitlin Clark's foul, now this is their opportunity to say what they always wanted to say, but they needed a mask to put on to cover up the innate whether it's racism or the innate prejudice or just the innate hate that they have for Angel Reese and the ways in which she carries herself. That's my issue with all of this.
Let's just call it what it is. Caitlin Clark has that it factor, a rare mix of Steph Curry's shooting range, Midwest charm, and a jump shot so smooth it makes defenders look like they're guarding a ghost. And that would be perfectly fine if she weren't white. But because she is, and because she's drawing a level of attention the WNBA has never seen, we're suddenly drowning in think pieces, awkward tweets, and shady post-game interviews. Some veteran players act like her highlight reels are nothing more than a weather update. No ma'am, that was an earthquake, and your ankles are still in Section C. And yes, we get it, the league has fought for decades for visibility, fair pay, and respect. Legends like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and Tamika Catchings built this house with grit, talent, and Gatorade commercials. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark didn't bulldoze that legacy, she added a wing, a marble kitchen, and a full-blown media room. Instead of thanking the contractor, some players are acting like she's trespassing in their basement. Let's not sugarcoat it, this is internalized racism playing out in real time. The kind that's so subtle, even the people doing it might not recognize it. Because what we're seeing isn't just criticism, it's resentment, pure and simple.
First of all, the WNBA has been increasing in revenue way before Caitlin Clark was even thought of. Also, there have been a lot of women in this industry and in the WNBA specifically who have been fighting and advocating for changes in the league way before Caitlin Clark even stepped foot in it. Yes, jealousy is a natural reaction and it's a natural emotion and it exists whether people want to own up to it or not. And are there people across both male and female who may have animosity towards Caitlin Clark for the attention and the awareness and the pedestal that she has been put on? Sure. To lump all women together just further perpetuates this narrative that women are unable to be happy for other women. And as a woman, I find that insulting because one thing I